Welcome to Tree Talking Time, where we talk all things tree dogs, from the smallest fights to the largest hounds, treating squirrels to bears and everything in between. And from time to time, we might even run a little fast game. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Tree Talking Time. I'm your host, Ben Sheets. I don't typically do intros, so try to be quick here, but I did want to hop on here and say, just got back from Autumn Oaks. Had a wonderful time. Met a ton of great people. Just kind of wanted to give a shout out to a few of those people. I got to meet Steve Fielder. I was fortunate enough to sit down with him for a few minutes, and I'm going to be on his podcast. Got to talk to Clayton Stark, who I had on the podcast early on. I also got to talk to the guys from Coon Hunting Confidentials, Daniel Felker, Dustin Faulkner, and Ryan James. Heck, we sat down. It was supposed to be real quick. 45 minutes later, here we are carrying on still. If it wouldn't have been for a little black and tan puppy with some bad gas, we probably would have kept on rolling. I also met Jared Moss from Best Gun Dogs, Best Hound Dogs. Great guy. Had a ton of fun. I got to walk along on a cast. All in all, it was a great time. If you've never been to Autumn Oaks, I would say, and you enjoy hounds and hunting with hounds, the supplies, everything you could possibly think of to need for coon hunting is there. So it's definitely worth going just for the experience. I didn't do a great job of introducing a couple of the guests here. I had some help from my young co-host, Austin Deck. Now, he did hit his part and introduce some of our other guests, but I just did want to mention that Austin Deck is my co-host, and his dad, Tim Deck, as well, is on this podcast. So hope you enjoy. This is going to be the Austin Show.
That'll work.
The
All
Austin
right.
Show.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
So today we're talking about Team Mafia.
There we go.
So we're talking to Cheyenne Cummings and Tyler Compton. So Cheyenne, how did Team Mafia start?
I bought Mafia when he was 8 weeks old and raised him, and got lucky that he was a pretty nice dog, and people wanted to breed to him, and it went from there.
All right, whoa, you got to back up. We just heard the story of how you got Mafia. So we got to roll that back.
I had 3 litter mates. I bought 3 litter mates to Mafia out of this litter. A buddy of mine, a black and tan man, got Mafia, and he had him at a dog trade loose in the back of his pickup, and I asked him what he wanted for him, and I bought Mafia for $50. And that's how it all started there. I ended up selling the other 3 and keeping Mafia.
And why did you keep him?
He treated a coon. My wife was leading him when he was 12 weeks old, teaching him how to lead, and he struck on the lead, and she turned him loose, and he treated a coon in an apple tree at 12 weeks old.
Holy moly, that's awesome. So when did you first start competition hunting Mafia?
I didn't get to hunt Mafia as a grand night at a year old. I didn't get to really start running him in PKC hunts because I had kids at home till he's 4 and a half, and I went to run him then. I didn't have the time then like I do to hunt Shack and Stogie and these dogs.
Yes.
So what are we hunting? So let's talk. So we went Mafia, now, and then you went to Shack, and now you're hunting Stogie?
I went to Mafia, had Shack, and I had a dog I called Tack that
Okay.
I got killed at the truck hunt. And then me and a partner, Ronnie Smith, and now we're partners with Ike Rainey on the Stogie dog.
Okay.
And that's where we're at now. We got some females and stuff. I get rid of probably a lot better young dogs than I keep sometimes.
So Cheyenne, you obviously started this line. Now let's kind of tie everybody else in. Tyler, how did you end up in running these dogs?
So I am married to Shy's youngest daughter, Ashton. I've known Shy since before we were together, and I coon hunted before, as most people think I didn't, but I did coon hunt prior to knowing Shy. And then me and Ashton got together and just kind of hit it off. He definitely set up my future as far as what a competition coonhound is supposed to look like, and what I was looking for in a dog. I had some dogs that treat coons, but I didn't have a dog that was a caliber of what he's packing. And that definitely opened my eyes to the competition world. We've known each other now probably, 10 years
10
or
years
so.
probably, yep.
And it's definitely changed my future and the love of the game and knowing how to compete and what to compete and what to look for, I guess, in a dog when I get started.
Mm-hmm.
I have a female called Get Gone Jenna. I got her from Cheyenne. We actually partnered on her originally. We still are to some extent. She's out of a full sister to Shaq and a bone collector male dog. And so I'm carrying on that bloodline just on the other side of things. It's not out of Shaq, it's out of a sister to him. And eventually, we've got plans. I've bred her to wipe out hunters since then. And here in the next generation, we're probably going to take those pups and breed back to Stogie and tie it all back together.
Okay.
Stogie is actually also out of a female that I owned named Jasmine. She's a track man female. So, I'm tied in a couple different ways in the bloodlines and what Shy's hunt. So.
Awesome. And then, Austin, how are you guys tied in?
So probably about 12 years ago, if not longer, we got our first Mafia dog. Her name was Molly, because our bloodline was starting to kind of fade out, and we just wanted something a little peppier to bring into our bloodline. So I think I'm actually missing two.
Austin's getting corrected by his dad over
I'm
here.
getting corrected here. So Fancy and Witch were the first two that started it off, and man, them dogs, my uncle bought them. Dale Deck, he bought them. And man, they were just cranking it off. So my dad said, I have to get myself one of these, and he brought home a little female named Molly.
I'm going to back him up a little bit. The Witch female ended up being the one that Cecil Pittman done so much winning with.
Okay.
They call her Stella River Witch. And Tim and Dell owned her when she was a pup.
Yeah, which is where the Perryman female, Stella
Betty,
the one that they got killed this year, also came from her. So there's quite a few bloodlines there as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, then Outlaw, then Coon Crusher. We had a dog named Coon Crusher. He was a brother to Shaq.
Yes.
Yep, and Outlaw was a Grand Knight out of Mafia. Yep, Crusher, we made a night champion. And then from there on, then we started hunting Shaq dogs.
Okay.
Yep, they ended up, I had a little double Mafia bred male dog named Iceman that I started. He was, 6-8 months old there at the house, and I had him, made him the top 100 of the world hunt and stuff as real young. And I at the time I also had Jenna. She was coming along, and I decided I wanted to be a female guy, so I picked her, and me and Shy kind of did some trading, and they ended up with the Iceman dog, in which they loved till the day he died. They got him killed, 2 years ago?
Yep.
Last year they got him killed in. Yep, he was a Grand Knight. Got him killed in a bad accident.
Which I do want to talk about that, because that is the way he died was such a freak thing. But at the same point, just a cautionary tale, because you, Austin, almost got
killed trying to save Ice.
Yeah.
So why don't you tell what happened to him?
So I had a nice young dog. I shouldn't call him young. He was 4 years old when he passed away, but a real nice dog. His name was Iceman. And I would hunt him, man, probably 5 nights a week by myself. And just so luckily my dad wanted to go with and just listen to him one night. Dad said, can I come with and listen to you and Iceman? I said, heck yeah, come along. Turned him loose, and Iceman's one of them dogs, he'd get in there deep fast. Like, we used to time him. He'd have a coon within 3 minutes, 500 yards. Like, he was a very quick dog.
Mm-hmm.
Turned him loose. Then probably 2 minutes, we heard there's whoop, like his yelp, and I was like, that didn't sound right, because Ice had big roars. And I'm like, that didn't sound right. I'm watching him on the Garmin, and he's not moving. Dad's, let's go in there and check. And we didn't know, like, if he fell, or we didn't know really what happened, because he gave a yelp. We're walking in, and there was a power line down. Now, we're not thinking nothing of this. And Dad's watched the power line, so we stepped over it. We're walking, looking. Now, we're in underbrush probably like 3-4 foot tall, so, like, we can't really see there's other lines there. The next thing I know, I said, do you smell something, Dad? Dad said, yeah, it smells like burning meat. Like, it smelled like, I don't want to say a steak, but you know how burning meat smells. We're looking just like, there's Iceman. He's getting fried.
Oof.
It was rough.
Awful.
I got very fortunate. The day after he passed away, we had a litter of pups out of him. So I got very fortunate, and I got a young male out of him cranking right now.
Very cool.
We have 2 other dogs out of Shaq. We have 2 Grand Knights out of Shaq. We had 3 at one point, but like Ice passed away. We have a nice female. Her name's Redneck Roxy. She's a Grand Knight out of Shaq, and a Tequila Sunrise female. And then the dog we're hunting tonight here in Autumn Oaks, she's a Grand Knight champion out of Shaq. Her name's Sky, Backwoods Sky.
You guys got into the Grand 16 tonight.
Yep, Grand 16 with her.
Hang on one second. Can you give him that headset for a minute?
Yeah, I told you guys before we even got started, I said this year you guys got to hold up Team Mafia. Me and Shy's going to be – we failed you, so this year you got to, and you got in, so there you go.
Yeah.
So now we got Tim on.
Boy, we had some good fun, and that it's been so dry lately, and I talked to Shy, and he said Tyler and him and that, and Vic, he owns a Grand Night champion, a dog named Joe.
Spring River Joe.
Spring River Joe, another one, and he's a top hound also. And I said to Shy, Austin and I's probably going to come out there to all the Mokes, and we missed the deadline there, so we had to come in for the walk-in. And my brother Dale, which hunts all these dogs with me, he got me pretty much in with Buddy Lynchlider and that. And, we started hunting Sky here, and it was so dry. I mean, the grass was burned up, and Dale's kept saying, it's like 80-some degrees when we're turning loose and that. But she got that Mafia blood, takes after Shaq and Mafia, and can run a cold coon and get it going. And she's deadly accurate. All them dogs, what we had there,
Every one of them.
they tree coons. They're a competition type dog. I know Shy, his might hunt a little bit harder, deeper, go a little harder. But where we live in that, they go, don't get me wrong. But, they still got a handle on them, and that, really intelligent. And I got to meet some of the best people I could ever meet through this guys that hunt Mafia dogs and that, and the local clubs and that, I get to meet a lot of good people and come up to me and that, and ask if it's out of Mafia and Shaq and them, and it's really it's something to have this in your life and that, you know what I mean?
Definitely.
Yeah, enjoy it,
Yeah, the stud dog, he's pretty nice, but it'd be better if his owner was a little nicer.
Yeah, that's for sure.
That male dog you guys had before ice, what was his name?
Big Crusher, Coon Crusher. Yep, and then Outlaw, he's
I'm
Grand
trying to
Night
think.
champion. Outlaw, he was out of Minkler's, Kansas, Maxine. There's one there, the one up in Sapsucking Indian Warriors, a litter mate, and that, there's quite a few. Actually, Crusher was a litter mate to Shaq.
Okay.
When I was looking for a dog in that, he had Shaq and Crusher, and then he left me have Crusher.
Okay. I'm just trying to think what dog. Do you remember that night so Tim and Austin live relatively close to me, and they hunt at my local club. The night I guided you down by that lake, and you had a dog swim that channel. Me and you walked all the way. That lady came down on the four-wheeler screaming.
Rebel.
Yeah, that was
Okay.
Rebel dog, yeah, Wipeout dog.
Okay.
Yep.
I wasn't sure what dog that was.
That's where we wanted to breed, like, to the different ones out of Mafia.
Mm-hmm.
He
Gotcha.
had a cold nose. He was accurate,
I just don't typically guide you, and so a couple of times I have that, and that was a memorable night. Like I said, that woman come out cussing. We just crossed like the very edge of her property, and another dog stopped at the edge of the water and started treeing, which he wasn't treed, but he just didn't want to cross the water. And so she come out on a four-wheeler screaming and cussing, and it was. And then the cast, we ended up splitting up because me and Tim went to go get his dog. And the other guys went back, so just trying not to traipse all of these people's property and make it worse. And it was a mess of a night.
Yeah, he had the coon.
But he did. And it was crazy. He treed on a tree that broke off. It was a pine tree, and the pine tree went, 60 feet over. But it was sitting in the top of the pine tree, just broke off over.
Yeah, that was pretty good night there. You were in one here just lately when I was making Sky Grand Night.
Yes, and then I hunted with Sky recently.
Yeah.
Last March.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yep.
That was a pretty good hunt.
They've had a
too.
bunch of them. They had one, a bull sib to Stogie for a while that they sold there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Two of them, Cummins and Cash.
Yeah,
We had
Cummins and Cash. Yep. Same cross. Yep.
Yep. We had a dog named Still out of Shack also.
I didn't realize
Yeah.
they had so many.
Yep.
Yeah. They
I only,
they
I
keep
only
them-
know the ones that they bring to the hunts. So
They keep them other ones out there behind the barn. There's some of them behind the barn.
That's
I
right.
know.
See.
I can tell.
Yeah.
And now they're spreading all that blood down our way. Matt's got one now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. They're just young and
Yeah.
they're
She
trying.
just turned a year old, I think, a week
Yeah.
or two ago.
Austin now has one out of Iceman there.
Iceman's Redneck Warrior, I named him.
Yeah. Yeah, he loves the split tree and that. Really.
A year old, he don't even want to go with another dog. You turn Sky one way, he'll go the complete opposite way.
that's what happened last night.
Yeah,
With Shaq.
I wonder where he gets that, huh?
We cut 4 dogs loose, and Shaq literally just went whoop right behind us and ran the opposite way. Yeah.
Yep, we got to see him give us a hike last night.
A little bit.
So how would you describe the tracking ability on your dog, Shy?
I'm a track dog guy. No, I'm a guy that can take a 40 bark a minute tree dog, but I like to have the dog that's in the lead on a coon race.
Yep.
I breed for tracking. That's what I like. I feel like if you don't have an exceptional track dog, you're not going to have an accurate dog.
It's very true.
So I can take a 40 bark a minute tree dog if I got coons when I get there, if they can run a coon.
Yep. Now, what type of locate do your dogs usually have?
Shaq and Mop, most of them's got a big screaming, squalling locate, and a lot of my dogs will scream and chop both of the trees.
Yep.
There's a lot of them that are good chop mouth tree dogs, but a lot of my dogs also scream a lot too.
Yes.
Yeah, it was funny. Last night we were going into that tree to get Shaq. He'd been treed there for 45 minutes. He was screaming and chopping. I said, "You hear him screaming in there?" I said, "People, when he's by himself, they think that he's not being very nice." And I said, "He's perfectly fine. He's in there by himself." He said, "That's just how he trees. That's how they all tree."
Yeah, Shaq's getting old now. He's just got an average mouth at best. When he was young, he's probably the loudest that I'd ever hunted with or have hunted with up till today. And when he come treed then, everybody thought he was whooping everything in there if there's a dog with him.
That's funny.
How big of a mouth did Mafia have?
Mafia had an exceptional mouth too. He was loud. Mafia wasn't a real hard tree dog, especially in the summer. 60 bark a minute. Now, in the wintertime, he is an 80 bark a minute tree dog. But Mafia was a exceptional track dog. That dog could run a coon.
Yep. A couple years ago, I think 2019, correct, Shy? You
Yes.
won. Yep, he
Yes.
actually won Autumn Oak Grand Night.
Okay.
Yeah.
The night we're in the
Awesome.
top 16 with Sky, we're going to try to follow in his footsteps and whoop some butt.
We hope they get it done too.
Yeah.
We're going to try.
I hope so.
This rain ain't helping us, though. You probably can hear that in the background. It's
That'll
raining
make
pretty
this
good.
a little better if you guys win it.
Yes, it will.
Absolutely, you'll be the first one on the podcast.
I
Yeah,
know.
you win it.
I'll
You win
hurry
it. He'll
up.
have another podcast with you.
I'll hurry up and get this cranked out and be like, "Oh, look, winners already."
Right.
So,
So, which one of you's going to handle her tonight?
Yep, I figured I'd let Dad handle her.
okay.
That's probably smart.
Yeah. Figured he has to get one under his belt, then I'll
That's
take
right.
over.
That's right.
I'll tell you what, though, Austin, I'm gonna have to beat you with a stick and keep you away because you're gonna run me out of a job. You're pretty good at this.
He is.
I know. I'm impressed.
Yeah.
I try.
Like I said, you take the wheel. I'm not a walker dog man. This is why you don't hear walker dog stuff on my podcast because I just don't know.
But one thing about it, if Tim and Austin and them win tonight, it's well deserved. They put in the time.
Absolutely.
They definitely do.
They call me
every
regular
night.
5 nights a week, send me videos, showing me their hunts. These guys put in the time to have a good dog.
Yep,
And they're proud of it. I
And
tell you, like that.
They're hard coon hunters.
they are.
Probably that's the biggest thing that I see in them is they're just proud of it. It's a pride thing for you guys, and that's awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
to show up and love it that much that's great.
A lot of people make this a job, and it's not fun no
Uh-uh.
more. And if it's not fun, you don't need to be doing it.
I make them dogs like family. Ain't every night we love up on them. And
Yeah.
You become like a team.
That's right.
Like I say, Dad and Sky's a good team. That's why I'm letting him hunt her tonight. Even though I hunt her just as much as him, she clicks for him.
Yeah, there's nights I call Tim. He's asleep on the recliner, and Austin's coon hunting. Yeah.
Some nights he's just
There you
tired
go.
from work, so I
Yeah.
gotta take her
He's
out.
getting old on us.
Do we need a little ad break in here?
I don't care.
Go ahead.
Sponsored by
I don't know what to
the
say.
Coon Squallers.
Come on.
What do I? I'm not good
Tell
at
us about
ads.
your
Don't put me
coons.
on the spot here.
Tell us about your awesome Coon Squallers. Yeah,
Tyler's
we
got
got two of them.
All right. Everybody at this table uses Tier 1 calls, guys, custom calls. We make customs. We got a Phoenix and a Pinnacle. Everybody sitting here uses one. Tim uses one. Austin uses one. Shy uses one. We even got our podcast
Yep, I
feature here. He's got him a brand new one
got a
yesterday.
brand new one. And
So
then I
if
forgot
you
it
guys,
last night.
yeah, he didn't even use it last night. But if you guys want or need something, give me or Lane Denny a call. We're making them every day. We can do customs, anything of that nature. So we got a Facebook page. We got a website. Give us a call, and we'll get you taken care of.
They work awesome, guys. Trust me. Last week, we squalled a bunch of kitten coons. They were actually coming down the tree. They were wondering what was going on. We'd quick pull the dog back.
Awesome. There we go.
So what is your guys' next move? You got Ice Pup, so where are we going to go from there?
where are we going to go from here? So there's 2 directions me and Dad are, well, I should actually say 3 directions. One direction we're going to probably go, we're going to try to get another dog out of shack and get one of them cranking. That's what one way we want to go. And then I have a pup out of ice. He is cranking. He's doing real good. Has a lot to learn yet. He's just a young dog. Has a lot of things to learn, but it seems like he's going to have the tools. Like I said, seems like it. You never know. Sometimes pups are pups. One night they look like $1 million. Next night you want to sell them.
Hey, we want to know what you're going to breed Sky to. That's the question.
Yeah, there we
go.
go.
What are we going to breed Sky to?
So that's the 3rd direction. So we're probably going to breed Sky here this fall, we're thinking. And we're probably thinking Willie. We're probably thinking Willie, 'cause he's throwing some pretty nice dogs. Another dog that you haven't heard too much about yet is Frogger. Now, my uncle has a young female Frogger, and she's doing pretty good. So she's very accurate. So we're thinking maybe about breeding a Frogger, but first we want to go with a dog that we know is reproducing just because Sky hasn't been bred yet. Mm-hmm. And like I said, that's probably – we have a couple ways we want to go with what our next dog's going to be. So definitely I'll probably get another one out of shack, but then we're also going to have these young Sky pups, so we'll probably breed to Willie's what we're thinking.
Okay.
That ought to work out good for you guys.
That ought to be good. There's several of them that are winning, and JR's a good dude. That's a good dog, and with a good guy behind him.
That's exactly right, JR. He's an #1 guy.
Yep.
And they're promoting good hounds.
And they should be pretty dogs because shack dogs, if you haven't seen them, they're very pretty, muscled-up dogs, and Willie has some nice red color on them, so they should come out nice-looking dogs, too, with good noses.
Yep.
Yeah, Willie's part black and tan. No, I'm kidding. Oh, man.
But we hope the best for you guys tonight.
Mm-hmm, definitely. I know personally, like, I was talking to some of the guys back home and about you guys getting in, and they're like, yeah, I'll throw that up on our Facebook page. You know, these are guys, you know, we're real proud of you guys because you come to our hunts. And,
yes.
And, you know, Eastern Pennsylvania is not necessarily the coon hunting capital by any means, so we're definitely proud to be represented out here.
Right, and they've done pretty well with that. What you guys got in the top 100 of Tournament of Champions with her, right? And did you get her in the top 100 of the UKC World as well, or am I mistaken there? You didn't take her this year. Are you qualified for this year for the World or no?
Yeah, we didn't get qualified.
They got a lot of hobbies. They like to hunt other things other than coons too. We got to get them to slow down on that a little bit.
Yeah.
Focus more on these hounds to go these big
I do
hunts.
a lot of deer hunting and a lot of duck hunting.
Yeah.
And a lot of coon hunting.
I know actually you guys were going to the zones for for Tournament Champions like right after I hunted with Sky. Like I think the weekend after I hunted. Something like that.
Yep. out there in Ohio, my dad, he hunted her. I was actually trout fishing. That's why I didn't go along with it along to the zones. But first night he scored 900 and second night 825, right? She was clicking out there in the zones.
Yep. Pretty good. Was there 5 pups out of shack that made the
5 out of shack that made the Tournament of Champions.
Top 100
That's
Tournament
awesome.
of Champions is a pretty big deal.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as pups are of age now, they were getting some age on them. You're seeing some of them kind of settle down their ways and really compete at all levels. And you know, sad thing is, old Shaq's 9. We're still breeding him, or Shy's still breeding him, and you know, you wish you could breed them forever. By the time you figure out what you got out of them, it's too late. But I think we're fortunate enough that we saw some early, and he's still breeding. So
You have him collected?
Yes, I've got him collected, and we got an appointment to get him collected again when we get back home. Yep.
Good.
yes, because the bad thing about what happened to the tack, you know, Shy got him killed down at the truck hunt, was also a good thing in my eyes because Shy was kind of old school. Oh, we don't need to collect him and it'll be fine. And then he got tack killed and he said, yep, I think we'll go get him collected.
Yep.
Yeah, because at the time, Tack was my next dog.
Mm-hmm.
That was the dog that I was going to follow Shaq up with. I was doing some pretty good winning with him. He was young. I really liked him, and just an accident happened, and you got to start going a different direction.
So do you have any idea what your next stud dog's going to be after Shaq?
I don't know. We'll probably breed Stogie a little. You know, I'm going to get Stogie collected too when I take Shaq.
Yep.
And, you know, hopefully we're not done raising young dogs. Hopefully something else pops up. I got a few that I'm getting ready to start that I really like. It's out of some good females.
Yep.
And hopefully we're lucky enough to get something else that we like.
Now, what's your favorite bloodline to breed back to Shaq breeding?
I was just going to ask the same thing.
Boy, you know, I don't know. I like bone females real well. The Stogie dog that me, Ronnie, and Ike Rainey are partners on, he's out of a Trackman female, and we've made that cross 3 times on her, and there's good ones out of every cross we've made. So Probably bone collector or trackman females.
Yep. The Sky's actually out of a bone collector female
Yes,
too, and she
yes.
does very well.
Yeah, that'd probably be my pick if I got to pick the breed to. It'd be a bone bitch or a trackman female.
Now, we didn't talk much about Stogie. How would you compare, like, Stogie's tracking ability to Shaq?
Stogie's a different type of dog. Stogie's an ambush dog. He can run a track, but most time you hear Stogie open, he's fixing to get treed quick. He's not a dog you're going to hear strike a coon and run it through their 800 yards or 1,000 and tree it.
Yeah.
That's just not his type.
Now, does he go deep just like Shaq does?
Stogie's probably if you can believe this, Stogie might be harder hunting than Shaq.
Jeez.
Stogie's a real fast moving dog.
Yep.
He's one that when you recut him, he leaves like you left him out of the truck every time. All my dogs hunt hard. A lot of people would call it stupid the way they hunt. That's just the way I like them. But Stogie's he's a real hard hunting dog that moves quick.
Yep.
And the thing that keeps him competitive is his amount of downtime. Coons in between the recut, or time in between the recuts, very minimal. I mean, you cut him back loose. He's one of those ones, if you got 3 minutes left in the cast, you got to have a coon, you're cutting him. You're not keeping him on the dog lead because he'll be somewhere within 3 minutes. Whether he's treed or not, that's chance. But
Last night we made a tree. Stogie made a tree there. Black female was split about 100 yards. We score Stogie. I walk him and cut him about 10 feet from the tree. We go to her, score. We're there about 5 minutes. We step off. Stogie is struck and treed again at a mile .08.
Ooh.
We get there, we recut him. Before we get to the next tree, he's a minute or two after the hunt, he's treated at .8. And that's just the way that he moves around.
He's got a motor in him.
Yes.
He's definitely in shape.
What was his score last night?
425.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you just barely
Just
missed
barely missed it. Yeah, he come treed, minute and a half after the hunt. Me and the guide walked in, had another coon, just was a little late.
Mm-hmm.
Just the luck of the draw.
Yes.
Now, if you could tell me, like, your perfect world ideal coon dog, describe it.
I like a hard hunting dog. Mafia is probably more my type. Mafia probably suited me as good as any dog I've hunted with. Mafia is a hard hunting dog. But Mafia is a dog, as he was hunting hard, he made big swings going through the timber. He might not cover the whole timber, but he covered 3/4 of the timber going through it and done it in a short time. He is a real quick moving dog, but covered a lot of the country that you was in as he was going. He wasn't coming back, and he's going to get deep on you if he needed to. But he treated a lot of coons by just covering so much ground going as far as he went.
Very nice.
Yep, he was kind of, I mean, for the lack of a better term, some of these dogs, mine included, my Jenna female, more of a straight line style hunter. They're wide open all the time, and you point them a direction, that's where they're going. Moff, in what little bit I got to see of him, I didn't see him in his prime, but he's was more reserved in the fact of a straight line hunter. He's going to be, he might be a mile, he might have moved a mile, but he went half a mile right-handed, a half a mile left-handed. And then he may only be 300 yards from you, but he would also treat every coon within that block of woods. You turn him in a block of woods, 10 coons, he trees them all because he hunts the whole thing. He don't blow through it and tree the one on the back side of it. And that is where he, in my opinion, where he was super tough.
I'd seen Mafia a lot of times in cast, strike coons, run them through there and tree them, and other dogs be struck. And come to find out, they's all running the same coon he would done run, but he'd been treed for 10 minutes on it.
Wow.
He was just that type of dog. Mafia was a exceptional track dog, and it never seemed like he ever hit a bad track. Every time when he struck, he was running.
Mm-hmm.
We seem to throw that in his pups.
And
all his pups have pretty good noses too.
For the most part, I mean, there ain't no one gonna sit here and lie. My dogs throw junk too. There's junk out of my dogs, believe me. I've had them. We throw them too, but for the most part, I've been lucky that my dogs have produced pretty good dogs.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. And I have to say, I commend you for being honest. Most people, they'd lie to your face, like, oh no, this dog never produces junk.
No, that's like we was talking about the bone females and the trackman females. Don't let me sit here and tell you that you could breed a bone female and have 8 pups and 50% of them be junk. I don't know, but my dogs not every pup out of my dogs are good ones.
But if you're producing a high consistency, that's what matters. And that's all you can hope to achieve.
And I'm a working guy. I'd never I say never. I got one female that I've bred. I think that's the only female I've ever bred of my own to my own dogs. I don't like to knock guys out of selling pups that breed to me, so I just don't have a bunch.
Yes.
I breed a lot for pups instead of charging because I'm just looking for my next
Your next stud
my
dog.
next dog.
Gotcha.
Yep, he has one at my house right now that is an all grand pup out of cases in it, and he's the all grand pup out of David Griner's stuff.
Yeah, I got one at the house. The one at Tyler's house is of a all grand female that goes back to X Junior and that bloodline, and then I got another all grand pup that goes back to Carbon Copy and them, and then I got another all grand male pup that's my favorite because I like an odd collar dog. He's a split faced dog, calico eared. He's out of an Insane Cane female of Phil Krugel's in Minnesota.
Nice. I like the mod colored ones
I-
too.
He's got a split face on him. He's almost bald headed on one side. He's cool. And that's one thing you'll notice that Shaq's as good a looking dog as Shy normally packs around. He likes them ugly ones. We all do. We'll pick the whitest one.
Yeah.
We don't want them blanket back red-headed ones. I mean, we're not scared of them, but we like those white ones if we can
Everybody
get
thinks all my dogs throws ugly dogs, but he throws a lot of good-looking dogs. I just pick the ugly ones.
Yep.
There you go.
Yeah, Sky's one of them red-headed blanket back females,
Sky's
but Ice was a pretty much white dog too, with just a red head and a circle spot on his back, pretty much.
Sky's a very good-looking female, about as good-looking. You could win a lot with her on the bench. She's a beautiful blanket back, red-headed female, real cat-footed, dark-eyed. She's a good-looking jet.
And she stands good on a bench too.
Yep,
Yes,
we
she
made her a
does.
show champion this spring.
Yes.
And that's another thing is some of our people that are into the show dogs. Stephanie Goins over here, she's got some just tied to the tailgate, and she's showing them all the time.
Yeah, she won yesterday the pup part of Autumn Oaks with a young dog out of Shaq. He's a good-looking dog.
So, he's kind of got that dual purpose feature about him. And Shaq obviously is a grand show dog, and he loves the show.
So maybe if you get one of them pups that I'm talking about as junk, you can turn into a showman and just show it.
There you go. What else you want to talk about?
Come on, Austin, you're up.
Yeah, awesome.
I'm up. Got to think here a little bit.
Well, how about Cheyenne? Why don't you give me a good story of Shaq or Mafia of a real memorable hunt with one of them?
Well, I'll give you one on tack. We was
Okay.
coon hunting with the young dog I got killed. He was another one. I thought a lot of that dog. I was trying to get him to come to me one night, and I'm not a shock and collar guy, and this is why I'm not a shock and collar guy. I got mad at him. He wouldn't come to me. Well, I'm bumping him, or maybe a little more than bumping him. He won't come to me. Well, I drive down this dead-end lane. There's this trailer there. The doors are open. The people are all standing outside. I'd been shocking tack, and they'd open the door, and he'd run through their house. He'd knock tables over, trinkets. Well, when I get there, he sees me. He runs out the back door, which they've opened, and has went underneath their house. And I get under there, and he's knocked water line loose, and I had to crawl back under the house and get tack out. That's probably one of the most memorable hunts I'd say that I've been on.
I'd
And
say so.
And I've not put a shocker back on a dog since because I'm not very smart, so I don't need to have one in my hand.
And the funny thing about it is they had one of those yard, electric fences or whatever,
Yes.
and they said, "Hey, I think his collar's interfering with our electric fence, and it's shocking him."
Yeah, they said, I think our perimeter fence is shocking your dog. Well, I wasn't going to tell him that I'd been shocking him. I was just glad to get my dog.
Too funny.
What's a memorable hunt for you, Tyler?
Oh boy.
Probably the night I took him and he got to meet my daughter for the first time.
Yeah, that was just so
He
memorable.
robbed me of my youngest girl.
No, probably. This kind of I told this story, and this made me a believer in Shaq. Night in and night out, that sucker's pretty competitive. I was starting Jenna, and Shy had tack, and it was cold. We were out hunting. They weren't but 12, 13 months old, just string coons by themselves, and we shouldn't even been hunting. It was miserable. And the dogs, we'd cut them loose in the section. They'd been loose probably an hour. Weren't getting nothing done, just roaming around, no barks, nothing. And Shy said, I've had enough of this. I said, yeah, and we had Shaq in the box. He said, watch this. We got Shaq out and cut him loose, and it wasn't 5 minutes. He gets struck in there, just runs this little track down there, and bam, gets treed. And I'm like, are you kidding me? This sucker ain't got nothing. Go down there, he's got a big old den, I thought, all right, that's just a fluke deal. Whatever. We loaded them up. We went to the next spot, cut the pups loose. Same deal, just banging and banging and banging. And I thought, well, whatever. Shai said, let's get Shaq out again. We cut him loose. He just strikes down there, runs right down there, and boom, gets tree. You got to be kidding me. I mean, like nothing. We go down there, he's got a coon. I told him, I said, never again. I mean, we had 2 dogs that we thought pretty highly of. Yeah, they were young dogs, but they had treated plenty of coons, and he just made them look stupid. And I thought, that's impressive. That made that right there, a lot of people wouldn't see that as being too impressive, but we felt like we had a pretty good caliber dog on the end of our lead at the time, and he embarrassed us. Even Shy's dog, he embarrassed him about the one he had loose at the time, and of course those Tack had and Jenna has progressed considerably since then. We've gotten through that and feel like I've got a pretty good dog now, but that made me a believer in him. Night in and night out, that sucker's the toughest one I've ever hunted with, and I'm not just saying that because it's Shy's. I've hunted with a bunch of them, and he's tough. I don't mind handling him a bit. I handled him last 2 nights, and I ain't even mad at him. I like the old dog.
So Tim just was talking about placing in the world hunt.
Yes.
So how many times has that been?
I think I've got him in the top 15 4 times. He's been in the finals one. He took 3rd one year.
Okay.
I've had him in the finals of the truck hunt 2 or 3 times, Tyler.
Twice.
Twice in the finals and 3 times in the semis, I guess, at the truck hunt. I've been very fortunate with Shaq and done some winning, and hopefully we can get another one there.
Mm-hmm. Now, have you won more with Shaq or more with Mafia?
I won more with Shaq. Mainly, Shaq's a good dog. He's not no better than Mafia was. Mafia just never had the chance that Shaq had because I had kids at home.
Yeah.
And I had games, football, baseball, girls cheerleading. I just didn't get to travel like I travel now. Now I can go pretty much when I want to go and do what I want to do.
Yeah, I took that last daughter off his hands at
I took
24, and now she's moved in with me and not him, so he can go now.
Yeah, I can go now. Other than I don't have no one at home to take care of all my stuff when I'm gone. Yes, my son hunts a lot. At times, I will say. Right now, he's coaching football. He's in the same boat I was. He's got kids.
Yep.
He loves the coon hunt, loves the competition. He's just got kids and a family, and he don't get to go like he'd like to. This weekend, he would be here. He won this with Shaq. In 19, he was the one handling him. He's just got young kids at home. He's coaching football today, so he couldn't make the trip. He's hunting a female we call 100 right now. A very nice female, not my type. That's the reason he's hunting her. I don't like a dog that barks a lot. She barks too much for me, so that's the one he gets to hunt.
Mm-hmm. Now I can understand. I got little kids too, so it does
takes up a lot of time. And there's, I love coon hunting. It's a passion of mine, but there is more important things.
Yep.
And probably one of the best things that I see with the next with Stogie, for instance, is Shy's getting ready to have some time on his hands and get that you'll see that dog do big things. The only reason, one of the biggest reasons is that Shy's getting ready to have some time on his hands, or has some more time on his hands, even more than he had with Shaq. And the deal of it is too, between me, Shy, or Dalton is at any given night we're all 3 hunting. When in this fall we'll all 3 be hunting. We won't be hunting together because, well, for one, Shy and Dalton can't hunt together. They get mad at each other.
Yeah,
but
we argued.
They'll whether it be Stogie or any of the other ones, Shy will be packing one and he'll be going. I feel like in the future he's going to be at some of these bigger hunts, and he's dabbled in them a time or two and been successful, but he hadn't had the opportunity to go as much as he would like, and I think he's starting to get fired up, and he's about ready to go.
We're ready to go, and I got grandkids that coon hunt.
Yep,
that's awesome. My Dalton's boys. Cash is 9, Case is 6. They hunted in the Oklahoma State Youth Hunt this year. Cash took 2nd with Stogie, and Case, he was hunting Shaq and got 5th.
Very good.
Never helped him. Dalton never helped Cash call his dog. Case is 6 years old. Other dads are helping a little bit. I sat back. Shaq gets struck for 100. My youngest Case, he strikes him for 100. Well, he rolls up in and gets treed, and I'm just sitting back. Shaq's in there treed about 400 yards probably, and Case looks at me and he goes, "Pawpaw," he said, "Shaq's treed." I said, "Don't tell me, you got to tell the judge." Well, he looks at the judge and he says, "Judge," he said, "Shaq is treed." And the judge took his call. I was pretty proud of him. 6 years old, first hunt he'd ever been in, won his cast and got 5th in the state hunt.
That's awesome.
Like I said, you're going to run me out of a job.
What's my most memorable hunt? So it's probably a competition hunt. It's the night I made Iceman and Grand Night. So I was hunting against a real good female, a guy I paid some pretty big money for. And Dad hunted him early round, beat him. And Dad said Austin's going to hunt him and make him a Grand Night. Because I usually hunted ice. Dad wanted to hunt and put a win on him. And the guy's thinking, man, I'm going to whoop Austin. And Dad didn't say nothing. We get out there, and I think right out of the truck, I slammed one up a tree right away. The guy just was like, holy moly, his dog never even smelled the track. Like, that goes back to what Shy was saying. Some of these dogs, now Shy didn't have as cold as a nose, or Ice did not have as cold as a nose as Shaq does, or even Sky has a colder nose than Ice. But still, most of these dogs have pretty good noses. Well, that other female, she never even smelled that track Ice smelled. So he slammed it, had a first and first there, petted him up. She went through the country, and I think she had a coon then, right? And I recasted him in. As soon as we got her off the tree, I heard Ice in there treeing him. Had another coon. Recut him again. And now they're both out there tracking. Ice is opening up, and Ice didn't open up much. I think you actually got the chance to hunt with Ice once or twice, correct, or no?
I'm not sure. I can't remember.
He didn't open up a lot. He just gave like one bark there, and it could be how long? Shy got to hunt with him a lot.
Yeah, he was a tighter mouth dog. He just opened here and there. A lot of times Ice would just come treat on coons.
Yep, sometimes you just
a lot
come
of coons
treat.
laid up. Ice would just come treat. Ice was a nice dog.
And he was opening up. He gave a bark here, a bark there. Just like that, she started opening up. So then next thing you know, they're going. He falls treated. He's treeing there. I think it got down to the 2 minutes, and it's just about time she came on, slammed that tree. He treated her. He goes, that's the first time I ever seen my dog tree with another dog. And went in there, and he had that coon, and I won that cast. And he goes to my dad. He said, I didn't expect to whoop you, Tim. But he said, I expected to whoop Austin. And Dad laughed. He said, you'd have a better chance of beating me than Austin with that dog.
Yeah, Austin hunted him. There was a lot of nights Austin would be the only dog. I'd get videos and phone calls from Austin hunting by himself, videos of Iceman, just Austin by himself hunting. There's very few kids that hunt like Austin hunts by themselves. That's that kind of hunter and a good kid to go with it.
Austin, how old are you?
I'm 20.
Okay.
Yeah.
20 years old.
But when you were hunting ice a lot, how old were you?
16, 17, 18. So
Yeah.
I just was started dry. I think like one of the first nights I had my license, I took old Iceman out. So like I said, Iceman's been dead a little while now. But back when I was bringing him up, because how old was he when we got him from you guys?
I think I ended up getting rid of him. Buddy ended up with him. He was 2, almost getting ready to turn.
Right before 2, we got him.
Right before 2, I was gonna say I thought he was right around there. And another thing that a lot of people don't realize, Ice was quirky, and he was quirky in a way that he was a one-person dog.
Yeah, nobody else could hunt Ice.
And Austin spent a lot of time with him out, just loving on him, petting on him, and that was Austin's dog. And there won't, in one aspect, there won't be another one like him because he was quirky. I mean, that's just
He was.
bad as I hate to say it.
He was a one-man dog, and Austin and Tim both spent a lot of time with him. The dog performed at a higher level. Yeah, Tim's brother bought him, and Tim cried and whined there for quite a while and got his brother to sell him to him, half of him, and then he cheated him out of the second half. I can't remember how it all went down, but somehow he cheated him, I know.
And then it just so happened then Dad got him, and somehow that dog started liking me more than Dad.
That's funny.
Yeah. Yeah, so he went through the family. He went from Dale to Tim, and then Austin ended up and was the sole owner of Ice at the end.
Yeah, but like Tyler said, there'd never be another dog like him. Well, but like his pups. Sometimes I hold his pup to so high expectations, I just got to remember they're just pups.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But if you don't hold a dog at a high standard, you'll never have a high standard of dog. You got to have high expectations for your dogs to ever have that caliber.
Yeah. Not everyone's going to make it either.
No.
Because some are just going to be nice pleasure dogs,
Yes,
which that's
sir.
okay. So that's what some people want. They don't want a crazy tree dog or a dog that goes in there deep.
Yes.
That's me. Hi.
I was going to say.
So do you have any questions about the Shaq bloodline? I know you don't know
No,
much
like
about
I said,
it.
I was getting the first hand lesson last night on the way to the woods, and that because I didn't even honestly know how your dogs were bred. You guys come to our hunts. I talk to you about your dogs. Never, because like I said, I'm not a walker dog man, so I didn't know anything about it. So I show up here and getting a lesson in all of it.
Yes. I've got a hunting buddy that he's a number one coon hunter. He's just a guy that gets burnt out quick on a dog. He likes to start over on a new one. And he's let Tim and Dale and Austin and them have a lot of young dogs out of shack that I've let him have. And then they went on to Pennsylvania to Dale, Tim, and Austin.
Mm-hmm. He's a bona fide dog trader, but not like most of them. He's not trading junk dogs. He's trading dogs because he's bored and he wants something else.
Yes.
He's one of those guys that really likes the puppy stage and progression.
Yes.
And
Yes.
Well, it may not even have to be that. He just wants a new one. The new wears off, and he's on for a new one. And he may spend, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 on one. I mean, he'd spend a little money and get one, hunt it a month or two. He's done with it. He'll call. He'll be gone in the morning type deal. He don't.
Yep, my uncle bought 20-some dogs off him.
Yes, Dale, Tim, and Austin, all three of them, they've done a lot for me and my dogs. They've promoted them for me, and they've done a lot of work for me.
I'll say, and it's a reoccurring theme, basically, anybody that has a really successful breeding program that's lasted and shown the test of time, there's always a good team. There's
Yes.
always multiple people.
Yes.
It's never a one-man band because one guy can't do it all.
And I better not forget this. My wife she's the brains believe me, she is the brains of this whole operation. She's probably more involved in these dogs than me or Tyler, either one. She can tell you wherever hunt is, when we need to leave, when the deadlines are. She helps run, I think, 4 clubs in our area. She's a big part of all of them. We get phone calls every day. Not even to talk to me about dogs, just to talk to my wife about dogs to figure out what's going on. We get people all over the country calling, wanting to know if dogs are sick. They call my wife to figure out what they need to do for them. She's probably the biggest backbone of the whole operation.
We'll have to get her a stud dog to hunt out of shack.
Yeah, no, we don't need her hunting with us every night. We don't need her hunting with us every night, but we'll take her opinion at the house. She does go coon hunting with me, though, quite a bit through the week.
Like you said, she was actually one lead Mafia.
Yeah, she's the first one to see Mafia tree a coon. She was.
That's
awesome.
It's really worked out to mine and Shy's advantage, both of me and Ash's relationship, or and me and Shy's relationship,
Yes.
all because there's not very many weekends in the year that me and Shy go to a hunt. I mean, the girls know that. Well, Shy and I's going to a hunt. We're going riding together. They could go if they want. If they don't, they go do their thing. We go do ours. We'll see you in the morning at daylight. Mm-hmm. And we, Shy and I's both very fortunate to have women that understand it and get it, because a lot of this time, that's tough. You're spending lots of hours out and about, and I'll praise my wife as well. That's a good thing about them. And Jennifer, with paperwork and stuff, as far as I'm concerned, you don't call UKC and ask about paperwork questions. You call Jennifer. She knows all of them. It don't matter UKC, PKC. She knows them, and if you ever been on the forum and seen Cheyenne on the forum talking, usually Jennifer's behind the texting. So that's what it is, and she knows them rules. She knows that rule book, and she'll tell you about it. So
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, our wives don't ask why we're going hunting tonight. If we stay home a night or two, they're asking why we're not going hunting tonight.
That's right. Mine gets mad on the weekends. Her and Jennifer will have plans, and she'll say, "Well, me and Mom have plans. So what hunt you Dad going to?" I'm like, well, we haven't even talked. I don't know, but I'm sure we'll find one somewhere.
There's been a lot of weekends we might not have went to a hunt, but they've done got us scheduled up to go because they've got plans.
That's right. We'll find one somewhere.
Well, unless you guys got something else, I really appreciate you sitting down with me.
Thank you for sitting down with us.
Yes, thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Well, good luck tonight, guys.
Yeah, we hope.
Yep,
We hope Tim, Sky, and Austin we hope they win it all tonight.
we're going to try.
Definitely.
Hopefully this rain dies down a little bit.
Nah.
If not, it'll be a memorable win
You'll
in
be
the rain.
good.
It will. She's going to tree coons. She'll do her part. But good luck to you guys and everybody that's
Yes.
involved tonight.
Yep, thank you. It's nice talking to you guys.
You too.
You can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Tree Talking Media. And until next time, keep 'em talking in the timber.